It's hard to know where to start with LEGO Builder's Journey, but perhaps the most important prerequisite is to let go of any concept you have of LEGO games. Whether that is the modern third-person action games or LEGO Island. LEGO Builder's Journey is nothing like any of them beyond its inclusion of colored building pieces. This is, of course, what makes it so interesting. Were it not for the LEGO branding on every brick, it would likely be regarded as some high-concept indie game that seeks to explore the human condition. See, statements like that about this game is why I say that before we begin, we need to let go of what a LEGO game normally represents to us. LEGO Builder's Journey is a puzzle platformer of sorts that most easily draws comparisons to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker or perhaps the classic Lemmings. You're presented with a small, three-dimensional playspace and must create a path for your character to reach a set endpoint. As the story progresses, some stages become more about completing an objective than reaching a specific point. Regardless, you'll accomplish all of this simply by placing LEGO pieces. Sometimes they'll just be strewn about the stage. Other times they'll come floating down a river, or even be generated by the player using blocks that link and duplicate as you place them. The act of picking up and placing LEGOs is arguably the most accurately represented it ever has been in a game. This isn't that traditional LEGO game where you simply hold A to build. No, you are picking up and placing individual pieces in individual spots. There are no specific structures you have to build, no instructions to follow, just a goal to be accomplished. Pieces are varied and can be freely rotated and placed anywhere. Now, while this freeform gameplay is absolutely a plus, and kind of a revelation for LEGO games, it can be a little hard to tell exactly where a brick is going to attach as you float it above the playspace. Bricks also have a habit of snapping to specific points, likely in an effort to mitigate some perspective issues. You can't rotate the camera 360 degrees, so sometimes seeing exactly where you're at can be a little rough. This means that some of the time I found myself fighting the snap feature to get a piece to go where I actually wanted it, rather than where the game thought I wanted it. A simple indicator that marks the spot below a piece where it will attach would make a huge difference here. LEGO Builder's Journey is only about 2 hours long, easily experienced in a single sitting. In fact, that's how I recommend you experience it. What impressed me most was how engaged I became with the faceless, voiceless characters it employs. Unlike the typical LEGO minifigures usually seen in these games, the characters here are simple LEGO creations themselves, a little tower of a few pieces. That being said, they're excellently animated and prove to be quietly emotive actors throughout the story. The plot itself is, on its surface, a simple story about a child wanting to spend time with their parent. Within the subtext, however, are much more complex concepts of the difference between doing something for fun and for work, and the effects that our lives and decisions have on those around us. The LEGO branding on LEGO Builder's Journey is simultaneously its greatest asset and its highest hurdle. The LEGO bricks themselves are the perfect tool to tell this story and factor heavily into its themes of play versus work. However, the name LEGO also runs the risk of obscuring this quietly beautiful adventure, simply due to the type of game it's normally associated with. This is a wonderful game that is likely to hit you a little deeper than you expect. If this represents a future direction for how seriously LEGO is going to treat their games, LEGO Builder's Journey is a sign of very good things to come. This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Did you know that Nintendo World Report is funded directly by fans like you? When you support Nintendo World Report on Patreon, you get immediate access to multiple exclusive podcasts every month, exclusive Discord channels, an early look at select content, and more, all for as little as $1 a month. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.